Hi guys, this is Deepak again, and today we are going to talk about a very interesting topic which came to my mind yesterday night. So, basically, if you look around uh, the world around you, what you will observe is people are playing roles. Okay, so everything is a role play. So somebody is playing the role of a farmer, somebody is playing role of a techie, somebody is playing role of a farmer, politician, or somebody is playing role of some film star. So we all are playing some or the other roles. Okay, and I was trying to correlate as to in career, if one has to grow, then how he could leverage this particular concept of role play. So for example, if you are a techie, okay, and now since you are a techie, uh, the role which you could play is you could play the role of a developer in a startup, or you could consider playing yourself as a techie, that role play in a, say suppose as a small to medium enterprise, or say suppose if you consider yourself as a techie at an HFT or a fan, then the role which you will be playing as a techie in those particular firms will be little different, and accordingly your pay scale will be different. Okay, so for example, big tech like the Fang and the Mang ones, they require you to solve complex problems, uh, process large amount of information, write very complex algorithms, as well as sometimes it could be easy things as well. But at least the magnitude of the data, the magnitude of information which you process, that is quite huge. That's why uh, they want somebody who could play that role very well. Okay, now compare it with a company which is like a non-engineering company, say suppose a supply chain company or some other logistics company, uh, for which IT is like a support role. So there also they will have an IT branch or IT wing, and there again you can play the role of a techie. But in this role, probably you'll not be having to play such an important part of their overall game plan. Okay, similarly, you can expect that of course the pay scale will also differ substantially from a big tech. So, ideally, what I think is if you really have to grow in your life, so you have to choose the role which you want to play. Okay. So, even if you are right now in tech, so choose where and what role you want to play. Okay. So, ideally, if you really want your pay scale to be very, very high, then play a role at one of the HFT firms, high frequency trading firms, the these kind of like Jan Street or Wall Street, all those kind of firms. If say suppose you want like work life balance, then play a role at mid or service based companies or product based mid level companies. And if you want to prioritize high growth, okay, apart from high pay, then you can also look forward to play roles in HFT startups, or because they will pay more when compared to conventional startups. Okay, so this way, if you know that, so now let's take an example of a film star. Okay, so in a movie, the film star, we think that the film star makes a lot, right? But actually, who does make the most of the money? It's the producer and the director. Okay, because they are like the people who understand the business. Okay, and film star is also playing his own role, but his role is to entice, or entice the audience to make them come and play his role perfectly, so that the film does well at the box office. Similarly, the cameraman is also doing his duty, and probably he is putting in more hours, he has less demands, but still his pay is less. Okay, so they all are coming together to make a film, but depending on the role you get paid. Similarly, if so, now let's compare this analogy with some other professions. So say suppose you are a prime minister or president of a company. Okay, then you are calling all the big shots. You can actually make a difference to the economy. You can impact so many people. You have that power. Okay, then if you look at people who are saint, sadhus, and all these holy people, so they also play a very important role in shaping, the culture as well as the religion, spirituality. They influence people. So they influence masses, and they preach us the way to reach God. Okay, so they don't do it generally for money. Okay, most of them, the genuine ones, will not charge money. But what I intend to say is, so if you compare all these roles, so everyone is playing a role. Similarly, the responsibilities for such roles are different, and the compensation is also different. Okay, so you can say that what compensation saint is getting. So I'll not go into that, but generally, if you are influencing the masses, okay, you are making them go the right way, then of course your punya karmas will shoot up and all those things. So similarly, now if you are a techie, okay, and you really have to look inside you and figure out what kind of role you want to play and where do you want to play the role. So there are people who work on like critical systems. Like there are people who work in, say suppose these space missions, the software for space missions, or people who work in for defense products, people who work on research products. Okay, so these scientists people and all, research scientists, scientist developers, so they might or might not get paid, but their intent is they want to play that particular role, which changes the way our generation sees things or does things. So they impact millions. Then there are people, who also work for shady websites. So there are, developers who also work for dark web. There are, yeah, there are many. And there are people who work for, the brains behind these porn websites and all. So they are also techie. Okay, and but the thing is, what they are doing is they are probably looking for quick buck, and with those it is their choice. But you really have to think what your life choices should be and where you want to spend your energy. So now, depending on, once you look within you and you decide that for me I want to play, for me compensation is less important but the purpose is more important, or if you so decide that for the initial years at least the compensation should be more, and other aspects can take a back seat. So accordingly you can prioritize whether you want to work in a small company, a startup, a big tech company, or medium enterprise company, or HFT firms. So that is your choice. So yeah, this was something which came to my mind, and uh, I don't know, I just felt like sharing it with you guys. Let me know what you think about it.